Hello and welcome to the FLP Business Academy. My name's Bill Lewis and on part of the entire support team at the home office, we thank you for taking the time to join us for this special training on our new Forever Fit app. Today's presenter is none other than Ashley Hauer. Ashley played a key part in the development of this amazing tool. Ashley's responsibility as Director of Marketing include the development and implementation of products, the literature and the sales aids worldwide, as well as the overall look and feel of Forever in all its aspects. Ashley, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Bill. I'm really excited to be able to share this tool with everybody. As Bill mentioned, I'm going to be sharing our brand new Forever Fit app with you today. Those of you who have had a chance to get in and use it will note that there's a lot of really robust features that the app provides. And so we're going to try and go through all of them today, albeit a little bit quickly. So please let me know if you have any questions by typing them into the chat function in the GoToWebinar control panel. We'll be happy to answer them as we go. Obviously, many of you will have already recognized the importance of this tool just based on the importance of the FIT program in our business and how we are able to really leverage that to introduce new people not only to the weight management products and to find great success with our Clean 9 program, but also to really introduce them to the Forever opportunity as well. I want to let you all know that we are the first in our industry to have such a proprietary tool, which I think really just shows the investment in technology that Rex and Greg and the entire leadership team here at the home office are willing to make to continue to move us forward at Forever. So when you first open the Forever Fit app, which I will mention, you'll see it here mocked up on an Apple screen, but it is available in both the iTunes the App Store and the Google Play Store. So it is available on both iPhone and Android currently. For this presentation, we're going to be looking at how it would look on an iPhone, but the performance should be parallel in those operating systems. When you first open the program, you're going to see a quick loading screen before you come to the login options. We recognize that different types of people are going to be using this program. So we have the ability to log in with FLP 360 if you're an FLP 360 account holder, the ability to log in with Facebook if you are not wanting to populate all of your information, want to kind of take a fast path through, or the ability to log in with email. So a customer or an FBO that doesn't have a 360 account can use Facebook or email, but we've added the email option in case they also don't have a Facebook account. In addition to that, if you tap Learn More on the main screen, you'll come into a screen that looks like this. It will just educate the user briefly on what the different programs are, Clean 9, F15 or Vital 5, and at that point they can tap on more information to go to the foreverliving.com page that discusses these programs in depth, talks more about the products, or they can proceed back to the login if they know what they're hoping to do to move forward. Once the login option is selected, you will see this screen, and so you'll either enter in your login information or you can register a new account. You'll go ahead, enter those things in, log in, and you'll create your FIT profile. We worked really hard when creating this app to make sure that we were creating a tool that was fun to use. We didn't want everything to be boring text drop downs, selecting male or female, selecting your age. We really wanted to make sure that it was as interactive as possible. So here you'll see you're going to tap the outline that indicates which gender you are. You're going to slide the bar across to your age. Go ahead and tap next. You're going to use the slider for your height and your weight. Tap next, and then you can add a picture, and there you'll see kind of the final portion of your profile. You can complete your profile and head into the next step. At that point, you're going to select a program. So you can select, as you can see here, Clean 9, any of the F15 programs. When you tap on an F15 hexagon, it's going to drop down the 1 and 2 option for you, or you can choose the Vital 5 program. Now, it's important to note, even though we're showing you the Vital 5 program today, that has not yet been added to the app. We're expecting it to launch kind of mid-summer, but will be an exciting new feature. And if you follow us on all of our North American Facebook channels or the corporate pages, you'll be able to see when that program will be available to help you track your Vital 5 program. But we will show you a few screens from that today so that you know what to expect. We're going to start with Clean 9, and we're going to go ahead and choose Start. Now, once you get to this stage, you can see there's 3 different options. You can start now, and that'll take you right into the main dashboard. You can set a start date, which would be, today's Friday, and I know all my friends just ordered their Clean 9s yesterday, so we're going to start at the beginning of a new week. We're going to start on Monday, or you're going to join an existing program, which means somebody else has invited you to join their program. So once you make that selection, you can see here, this is what a start date would look like. From this screen, you can then invite friends to your program if you're running a group program, or you can just choose Start Program. And if you're not inviting any friends, it will count down to you to your program beginning. But if you know you want to start Monday by yourself, that's totally fine. If you have a group of neighbors or a downline group or some customers that you want to invite to your challenge, you would do that here. And this is how that would work. The share code is going to be auto-populated, but you can name the group. So if you're in theory, you could run multiple challenges. You could have a Clean 9 group that is your neighbors, a Clean 9 group that's your yoga class, and a Clean 9 group that's your customers. And you could just make that designation here so that you can easily differentiate between them on your app. And we'll show you what that, excuse me, we'll show you what that looks like a little bit later. So next you're going to go in and select your friends. If you're inviting friends, it will populate a screen that looks very similar to this. It will depend a little bit on your operating system, but basically it'll allow you to invite friends in any inviting tool that you have. So if you use WhatsApp, WhatsApp will show in this list. If you use Facebook, it'll show up in this list. You can use email. Your text messaging program platform will show up in this list so that you can invite people through whatever mediums you're already communicating with them on your phone. It will use the phone's inherent function to do that. Similarly, you can invite people from multiple channels. So if I have a WhatsApp group, I can go to WhatsApp and invite those people, but then I can also go add friends from Facebook as well to complete that group and to get started. Once you go ahead and enter that in, you can see what you'll see. As an invitee, you'll get a message that says something like, check out the Forever Fit app to help you look better and feel better. To join my Clean 9 challenge, download the Forever Fit app here and enter code AshleyC9 to get started. That link will populate and send them to the correct store based on their device. It will auto-detect whether they're using Android or Apple and forward them to the correct store. So this will be auto-generated by the phone as you're inviting people, and it will put in the C9 or F15 or Vital 5 before the word challenge, and it will also input the start code for you, but you will have the ability to edit this message before it goes out. So just important to note if you wanted to put something specific in, or hey, I know we all talked about this in class this morning, here was that invite I was telling you about, you'd be able to add any of those customizations that you'd like. The recipient will then get that, they'll be able to click the link, download the app, and then they will go ahead and join. So you can see here they said, thanks for sending the info, can't wait to join. Again, once you have the correct invitees, you can just confirm the group, and that would bring you back to here. If you are joining an existing program, somebody has sent you an invite, you would tap Join Existing Program, and you would go in and enter that code, and once you've done that, it would bring you here. So once you have created a challenge or just chosen to start now, you don't have to go through the complexities of choosing a future date or inviting people. You have the product, you're ready to get started, you can choose Start Now. It will bring you to this dashboard, and this is what you will see on the first day of your program. If you selected a future date, you will still see this dashboard as the starting point for your program, but it will not have the day number on it, and some of the functions will be blurred out. You'll be able to see some of the functionality, but you won't be able to edit it, enter supplements, anything like that. You will be able to change your start date if you'd like to, and change any of your settings as far as measurements, whether you want them in metric or standard. You'll be able to change your language at that point, and you could still go in and invite friends. So if you are starting a future challenge, you'll have some of those functionalities, but other ones will be limited until your program actually begins. You will get a notification if you set a future start date the day before your program is set to begin and the day that your program is set to begin, just to make sure that you're ready to go, particularly if you set a start date that's a bit in the future. We find it really helpful. So from this main dashboard, you'll be able to really do anything within the app. You can see the button that's directly above, kind of the main button on an iPhone, mirrors this design. So anytime you tap that hexagon, it's going to bring you back to this main dashboard screen where you'll be able to see the different times of day, your free foods, water, unlock awards, weights and measures, and any exercise that's specific, as well as opening up the menu to change any settings and chat with people in your group. We'll look through all of those functions right now. Something to mention before we go any further is if you tap the progress bar icon that appears above the hexagons by itself, you're going to see this screen. That's just another way for you to get a quick glance at where you are in your program. So if you know it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're only halfway through your water intake, you're going to want to up that water intake just to make sure that you're meeting your goals. Or if you haven't reached halfway through your supplements yet, you've obviously missed something and need to go back in. So it's just a great visual check without having to go into the individual menus and assess, what you may have missed. So from that main hexagon screen, the main dashboard, if you select a time of day, it's going to take you in to complete any food and supplements that you need to complete. Obviously, early on in the Clean 9 program, you're predominantly looking at supplementation, although you do have a shake as well. So if you select the time of day, you're going to be able to come in and check all of these things off. Here you can see that it's showing breakfast, snack, and lunch. That's because this user would have selected the day 1 hexagon in the middle, which would just give them a quick checklist snapshot of the entire day. You can see including the water, which is listed on that checklist as well. If at any time you want to alter your settings or view any additional options that are available to you, all you need to do is go ahead and tap we call it a burger menu, which I know seems a little bit cruel in a fitness app, but the 3 stacked lines in the upper right-hand corner that you see here, and they will go ahead and pop out that menu drawer, allow you to change your profile, review your programs, exercises, recipes, and change any settings for the program or the app if you'd like to. We'll be going through more of these in depth here shortly. Here you can see any changes I need to make to my profile, or if I decide I don't want that picture to be representative of me as I'm moving through the programs, you can make those edits here. You can also change your time zone and language. If you set automatically, it will auto-detect through your phone settings where you are. Or if you know that you're traveling and you don't want it to auto-detect that you've moved to a different area or are traveling, you can just turn off the set automatically and select where you are so that it stays fixed there. But for many of our users, obviously, no matter where you are, you may want to change the language or units of measure. That can all be done here in the settings menu as well. You can also change program settings here. So if you, again, as I mentioned earlier, want to change the start date for the app, you thought you wanted to start on Monday, but you're not going to be ready till Wednesday, or you were going to start Wednesday and have decided you want to start on Monday, you can change that here. This is also where you would turn off push notifications related to the program that you're participating in as well, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. Okay, so we're back at that main dashboard. We're getting ready to log some of our supplements and accomplishments for today. You go ahead and tap on breakfast, and you're going to see the option of supplements or shakes. When you select supplements, you'll see the supplements that are part of your morning routine, and you'll see the expectation to wait 30 minutes before taking your aloe vera gel. That's not hard-coded, so if you came back in later and you wanted to knock all of these out at once because you knew you followed the directions, that's totally fine. We don't make users wait the 30 minutes before they can log those additional supplements that they're taking. Once you select next, it'll take you into shakes. Here you can see the shakes that are listed in the Clean9 brochure and create any of the shakes, right, or select any of the shakes rather right from there. If you tap on the shake, the little arrow, you can go in and see the shake video. You can also scroll down and see all of the ingredients and the directions on how to make it. Add shake will select it and complete your requirement for shake that day. Close will take you back to the menu list. You also, from the menu list, had the option to create your own shake. At this stage, all that means is if you know you're somebody that combines light ultra vanilla and you know that you put a handful of strawberries in and 8 ounces of almond milk and you want to call that Ashley's shake, you can name it, you can type it in, you can put estimated calories, and you can save it, and it will show up in that shake list. So when you're completing that requirement every day, all you have to do is select it, and that shake that you know that you love is always going to be there on your recipe list. And see what that looks like if you add in a few of those items and then go ahead and add it. So we're going to come back to the main menu at that point. We're going to look at water. So water is in the bottom hexagon bar because it is not reliant on time of day. And again, this is another place we really wanted to make sure that the app was interactive. And so instead of selecting a number from a drop-down of how much water you take in, you can actually fill the glass as you're going through. You can either use the arrows next to the glass, or you can actually slide your finger up and down in that glass to complete that requirement. So now you see we've logged a few things. We've had a look at supplements, we've had a shake, which would count as meals in Clean9, and we've done some of our water intake. To go back to that progress bar, you can see how some of those results have tracked. So again, just a really quick visual way to give you an understanding of where you are in your day on the program. Free foods, obviously a really important part of the Clean9 program. When we look at the F15 dashboard here in just a few moments, you'll notice that free foods is not on that dashboard, but can be accessed right from the time of day main dashboard in Clean9 because it's such an important part of the program. From here, you can select your free foods, your 1 serving foods, and your 2 serving foods to see what those lists look like so that you always know what you're able to have on the program. It's an informational page. There's nothing to select or indicate or record, but you always have that right in your pocket, which I know is always really nice when you're feeling hungry or you can run out to the grocery store to plan for your program. You don't have to worry about taking that booklet with you, or if you forgot it, it's right in the palm of your hand. So exercise is one of the next main functionalities we'd like to talk about, and obviously with F15 this becomes a more prominent feature. Exercise can also be found, like water, on that bottom bar because it's not reliant on time of day. In the Clean9 program, the exercise is really limited. Obviously, you're not taking in a tremendous amount of calories, so we don't want you to be expending a tremendous amount of energy. In each of these, all you're going to do is simply tap the hexagon for stretch and warm up to indicate that you've completed that. It will check off that parameter. For 30-minute exercise, it will come in, and whether you're on days 1 and 2 or days 3 through 9, that will auto-select which part of the program you're on, and then it will just give you the information that's already been presented in the booklet about what low-impact exercises are best for you to do during the Clean9 program. Come back to that main dashboard. Now, on day 3, everybody will note that you get to add a 600-calorie meal to your program. In the booklet, I believe, recommend it predominantly for dinner, but there's a small hexagon that says that you have the opportunity to have it for lunch. Well, in the app, we've taken that one step further, and basically the app will, once you've decided, will pair the whole rest of the program in that way. So if you know that you want your 600-calorie meal for lunch, on day 3 this notification will pop up. You'll select lunch, and then it will add that meal in to your lunch for the rest of the program and will adapt the schedule accordingly. Similarly, if you check dinner, it will do the same. Once you get to day 3 and unlock meals, similar to shakes, all of the recipes that are part of the Clean 9 program will appear here. You can tap on that arrow, have a look at the recipe, the ingredients, how it's made. These do not have videos like the shake, but they will have a stock image and all the information you need. You can also create a meal similar to how we talked about shakes with Clean 9, where you simply enter in the name, the calories, and the description and save it. So if you know there's something that you always have every day or something that's not listed in the recipes, you can add that. It'll show up in the recipe list and you can select from there. Here you can see we've added a spinach omelet. The only required field here is the name, but you have the option to add calories and description if you so choose. So again, we're going to come back to the main dashboard. And now we're going to talk about your progress, your weights and measures. You can see that that is represented by the scale that's between the main progress bar and the exercise icon. You have choices here. You can either review your progress or enter today. Weights and measures are required to enter on the first and the last day of Clean 9, but they're optional on other days. So you can choose to add in your progress if you'd like. If we're going to go ahead and enter today, you're going to select your weight today. You're going to select your different measurements today as you go through the program. And then you're going to get to a screen that's going to show you how your progress has changed. So you can see here in this simulation on day 4, I've lost 3 pounds since I started. You can see the graph representation as well as the data below. If I tap measurement progress, it would take me to a similar screen that would show the same thing, but would show how many inches I have lost. You can again add those as many times as you'd like or just review your progress here. Final functionality that we'd like to share in Clean 9 is the awards section. So you'll see that's on the bottom bar as well because it's not related to time. At any time you can go in and view the options to unlock awards. There are awards around supplements, water, exercise, making your own meal, completing all of your shakes, and these will vary as you go through the different F15 programs. I know in F15 Intermediate we introduced a yoga award just to pair with that program as well. Like I said, you can always see what it takes to unlock any of these awards, and the ones that are showing up in a bolder purple indicate that you've unlocked them. Others that are a little bit more kind of faded out are yet to be unlocked. If you've achieved it, you can go in, see when you've achieved it, how to achieve it, and you can see this if you haven't achieved it either, and you can share the award. So if you're in a group, you can choose to share to your group, hey, I just won the Well Supplied Award. How are you guys doing on your supplements today? So you can start to see how this can be a great way to encourage your downline. Similarly, anytime an award is unlocked, it will automatically push to your group chat. That's with the chat bubble right up here in the app. If you're doing the app or the program by yourself, those become notifications for you. But if you're in a group program, it would say Ashley has unlocked the Well Supplied Award, and just really help to encourage other people to have some accountability or that sense of competition that makes other people think, well, if this person's unlocking these things, I need to make sure that I complete my requirements, that I'm unlocking them as well. Most of the awards are individual, but there are a couple of awards that are specific to the first person to complete certain requirements in the day as well to help support that kind of healthy competition amongst your group. Again, this is what it would look like if it's not yet achieved. It will tell you how to achieve it, and you can access all of that information from the awards panel. We've mentioned that chat before. You can see here a simulated chat between Aiden and Greg and myself. And here's where it pushes out that I won an award. There's an icon associated with that, and this is just a great way, again, if you're running a group, particularly with customers, to keep them really engaged, figure out how their program's going. You do not, as a upline or as a group runner, have visibility into what their program looks like because obviously that information is personal to them, but you can kind of get an idea from how many awards or other pieces of information are showing up in this chat if other people are following along with the program or not. And you can say, you know, hey, Greg, I noticed you haven't unlocked any awards in the last couple of days. You know, what's going on with your program? What can I do to help? So it can be a great kind of touch point and singular way to get a glimpse into how other people are doing with the program. So now if we slide that hamburger menu back out and select your fit programs, we'll see here the current program we're in is Clean 9. We can go ahead and add a program because you can be in multiple programs at the same time. It will take you back to this screen. We can select an F15 program and again get the exact same join options that we've already talked through. Now when you start now, you're going to come to this F15 dashboard. The majority of the functionality here is exactly the same, so this will go pretty quick to talk through. There's just a few things I want to draw your attention to. You'll see again free foods has dropped out because that's not pertinent to the F15 program, but everything else should look really familiar to you. You select a time of day, you're going to see supplements and meals exactly the same. You can select your supplements and then you're going to go into meals. Same functionality, same ability to see recipes, to create your own meal. Where create your own meal varies a little bit in the F15 programs is that you can actually, in addition to naming, adding calories in a description, you can add your own ingredients, which you can see on this screen. You don't have to. Again, it's an optional functionality. You can put in spinach omelet and save it by itself. Or you can go to the next screen and choose from the drop-downs the different pieces that make up your meal. This is meant to be an educational piece for those who are really getting started in health and wellness and weight management and don't really know what goes into creating a healthy meal. It's really important to us at Forever that we make sure that people aren't just getting used to following a program, because when that program ends, you know, they're at a higher risk for slipping back into bad habits, but that they're really gaining education that helps them understand why they need to follow this recipe. What makes this recipe a good recipe? And so that's really what the add your own ingredients table is about. If you don't know what you'd like to have, or you know you've got some different foods in your pantries, you can go in and choose from the carbohydrates, protein, fat, and produce drop-downs and cobble together a meal that meets all of the major nutrition requirements for you on this program. And by doing that, gain the education to maintain and continue your results after the program's over, rather than just trying to follow a recipe at all times. So you can see here we've selected chicken and quinoa. Continue selecting, and then that gets saved onto your main recipe list so that anytime you go back, it's there as well. You can create new meals. You can select that one. You can select from the existing F15 recipes. Just again, providing functionality to really make this program work for everybody. The other big change that you'll see in the F15 program is exercise. So obviously F15 is 15 days. Here you'll see 15 days worth of exercise. I see there's a little error on the bottom. It says day 12 at the bottom instead of 15. So please forgive us for that one. It is in fact correct in the app. But you can see here it mirrors the booklet. It walks you through the different types of workouts that you have. It will automatically select the day that you're on, and similar to Clean 9, you have multiple options. Different from Clean 9 is that warm up and cool down are both exercise videos, as is the workout. So you're going to go ahead and tap into it. You can view the workout in written form. You can also watch the video if you'd like to. Close completes that requirement and checks it off. But this makes it so that you can do this in your living room. You can listen along from the gym. You can watch it at the gym. You can just read the list if you're interested in it, but it makes it so that this program is adaptable and can go anywhere with you. So once you hit close, warm-up is completed. Again, you go into your main workout. You can see here's the video for that, the whole list of all of the exercises. Close is going to check that off as well. Now there's a few exercises that don't have a video, such as some of the cardio workouts. You're going to see more of a text list like this that will mirror the Clean 9 that really runs you through the different types of exercise that you can do to complete your requirement. Simply reading this page and selecting done will complete that requirement for you. There is, in a couple of the programs, a third example of types of workout, and that's something like the no equipment cardio workout, where you can see all of the workouts are timed. If there's an element of the workout that is repetition based, you won't ever see this functionality, but if everything is timed and there's no video for it, you'll see this functionality. All you're going to do is, again, you can read the workout or you can start it, and that will activate a timer, and it will count down for you exactly what you need to do. It will tell you what steady state exercise you need to be doing, what's up next. If there's a rest period between those, it will go ahead and put that rest period in, and it will run you timer-wise through. So again, it allows you to create that exercise-friendly environment, whether you're traveling to build your business, whether you're at the gym, whether you're in your living room at home, without having to worry about the booklet. Just run through those screens quick. So you can see we've completed our workout for day 1, and we move on to day 2. And that just follows all the way through, so it will allow you to track your program as you move through. If we slide out that menu drawer again, we go to recipes this time. Say you're in Intermediate 1 and there was a program that or a recipe from Intermediate or from Beginner 1 that you absolutely loved. This is how you can access that. So in the burger menu, the fit recipes and the fit exercises will index every recipe and every exercise shown throughout all of the fit programs. This is just a way for you to see some of the other content, or even for you to view it when you're not in a program. If you knew there was a workout that you really loved or a meal that was especially delicious and helped you get through, you can see once you've selected F15 Beginner, you can access all of the different times of day and see all of the recipes and their associated calories. Similarly, this is also where you would see all of the exercises. So you'd be able to see all of those different workouts, go through them, view them as you like, choose from a video, and go ahead and follow along. The only other functionality in the F15 programs that really varies from what we've shown you is in Advanced. In Advanced, we drop out the recipes for you to follow specifically because, again, our goal is to teach users why those recipes are significant, why they need that balance of carbs, veggies, proteins, and fats. And so those of you who are familiar with the Advanced booklet will know at that point we introduce portion sizes. So in your Create Your Own Meal section, you won't see a list of recipes. You literally will see a page like this that will allow you to look at portion sizes. And this will vary depending if you're male or female. The whole app responds to what you selected when you set up your profile. So if you've selected female at the beginning, it will only show you the correct amount of ingredients to put in the recipe for women. It will only show you the correct portion sizes for women. When you go to a weight and measure screen, you will see a representation of a woman. And similar with men, it will auto-select all of those things for you throughout to give you a really customized experience. Here you can see the portion sizes recommended for you, and then you can add different categories to build your own meals. So there are no provided meals. You'd have to build your own here. But based on those portion sizes, you're going to select your proteins, your vegetables, your carbohydrates, and your healthy fats and create meals here. The final program that we'll talk about really briefly is Vital 5. Obviously, Vital 5 is a more simplified program, and so on your home page, you're going to see again, and it's going to look really similar, but you only see 2 times a day, morning and afternoon, to account for the 2 times of day that you have supplementation. When you select one of those, you're going to come in and you're going to go ahead and select your supplements and complete to complete those functionalities. Now, you might use Vital 5 exactly like that, no more, no less, only following the supplementation part of the program. But we've also recognized that people who want to follow a healthy supplementation program and are looking for advanced nutrition may be looking for something else as well. It's not mutually exclusive that you would, be an exercise person or a supplement person, or that you might not want to track your water. And so in Vital 5, we allow the ability to add an exercise program. It's not auto-selected for you, but if the user taps the barbell icon down in the bottom right, where you remember it being from Clean 9 and F15, they can add any of the F15 exercise programs to their Vital 5 program. While they can do this at any time in their program, it is worth noting that the F15 programs are also 15 days, whereas Vital 5 is 30. So they can select it on day 7 and it will end on day 22, and then they can select another F15 program for the remainder of their program, or they can choose not to, but because these do run in 15-day blocks, it's just important to note that as we move forward. But from here you can select any of the previous workout programs while you're on Vital 5, and then it will take you into that exact same functionality that we've already showed you with F15. You can follow the program exactly from here as you see fit. It will then add a progress bar for exercise for you onto that main screen. Similarly, you can also add water. So you want to track your water because you enjoyed using the functionality, or it just helped you stay hydrated, it helped you stay accountable. You can use the water here as well. If you add exercise or water to your Vital 5 program, it will go ahead and unlock the awards related to that as well so that you can continue to achieve them. It will also unlock the weights and measures if you unlock exercise so that you can add that to your program too. So really up to the user however they'd like to. A couple of FBO tools just to round out our webinar really quick and functionalities to be aware of. I know we've talked about a few of these already, but really recognizing that you can run multiple programs at the same time. So we talked about that earlier, that maybe you have a customers in a yoga class and a downline and friends, and they're all in different programs or different Clean 9 groups. This is what you would see if you had multiple programs running when you went into your chat. You would see, if you tapped that chat bubble, you would see a list of multiple programs. You'd see pictures of who's in those programs. You would see the name of that group that either you or somebody else has assigned. If you only had, for example, the C9 customers group, you're going to go right into the chat, but this allows you to communicate with multiple people in different programs, or if you have different customer groups that have started Clean 9 on different days, this allows you to really communicate with them, to encourage them, to upsell to them, to share additional product that might be beneficial to their program, and really just check in with them all from the comfort of your phone with multiple programs. You can see on this one that the header bar and the icons across the bottom are in red. That would indicate that advanced is the program that I'm actually participating in. So you would participate actively in one group, and then the others you'd be more of a viewer. It's not to say that you can't participate in the other groups. It just becomes very confusing to switch between, and if you're doing Clean 9 alongside your customers, to log that into multiple challenges. But it can be done if you so choose. That information is just not automatically copied over to other similar challenges. So you can see here if I'm in the chat, and again, if you went right into one chat, this is what you would see. There's communication back and forth. Again, an award's been unlocked. I can communicate with my group directly from here. And if I go into a different program, you can see here, quench your thirst, learn the role that water plays in weight loss. Again, our goal is to really be educational as we're moving forward so that people are learning things about why this program is set up the way it is, why we have the supplements we have, why we encourage that water intake, why we want them to use those recipes or those exercises, because it's all been very carefully put together to support the ultimate goal of helping them look better and feel better. So in the booklets, you know, there's a lot of information that goes along with these things. In the chat is where that will push to. You will see articles pop up with a link that will point them to foreverliving.com that will provide some of that additional information for them that will show up here in the chat threads back and forth as well. So we use this chat not only for your group communication, not only to show off who's winning awards and create that healthy competition, but also as a place to push some of that educational information. One last tool to be aware of is the push notifications. So there is a series of push notifications that are built into the app in all of the languages that it supports, and they come out 1 to 2 times a day depending on which program it is, where they are, and if they've opted into push notifications. It would be things like, hey, it's day 1, don't forget to weigh in, don't forget to get your free foods to help curb cravings. It's day 3, you get to add a meal, or in the instance of helping them move on day 5 in the Clean 9 program, we prompt the user to speak to whoever gave them the Clean 9 pack or sold it to them, or sponsored them in the business with it, to figure out what comes next. So our goal here was to create some additional tools to help relieve the burden of the FBO and really encourage that person to go back to them to ask more questions about what's next. It certainly doesn't replace the interaction of the FBO, but it can really help to encourage the FBO, engage them on a day-to-day basis, and really help them to understand how to move through the program, thus helping with your retention. So thank you all so much. I know that was a lot to go through. I know there's a lot of functionality, but a lot of it, again, is really repetitive throughout. It's very simple to use once you get in and click around. If anybody has used it and noticed that there might be a couple of issues where there's some delays or things aren't happening quite as well as we would like, we will have a great update that's coming to both the Apple and Android stores here very shortly to fix any of those issues, update some new languages that the app's been translated into, etc. So make sure you watch our social pages for that update and then any new features that we're going to be rolling out soon.
Great, great. Ashley, thank you so much for this amazing app and for teaching us how to use it to build the business. We do have one question, if you have a second that you might be able to address.
Of course.
Okay. With the Clean 9 program, what's your feeling on, is it possible to divide the 600-calorie meal into 3 little meals of 200 calories each?
Absolutely. So the 600-calorie meal that you're going to add into your program on day 3, it is possible as a user of the program to make the decision to separate that out into smaller meals, particularly if you're somebody that gets really hungry during the day. I know that's why I always have my 600-calorie meal at lunch, because if I have to try and make it all the way to dinner, I'm pretty ornery by the time I get there. Okay. But the app will not allow you to do that. The app treats it very straightforwardly. So the functionality that would allow for some kind of breakdown or delineation of those calories across multiple meals is really, really complicated. And because it's kind of a fringe use case, the user will not be able to control that or make that change from the app. But from a program usage standpoint, you can absolutely educate your users that if they want to do that, or if they want to move when they have a shake to accommodate a meal, they're absolutely welcome to make those adaptations as long as they're getting that calorie intake during the day. Great.
So they would just simply mark it off as a meal, even though it was divided into 3. So,
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, we appreciate you, Ashley, for all that you and your great marketing team does for us. And again, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely, Bill. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, it's time to close for today. The session has been recorded, as always, and it'll be available in a few days on vimeo.com, Forever in America. And now you won't want to miss our next webinar in 2 weeks, because we're going to discuss ideas on how you can effectively share the products and build a foundation of customers that will give your business stability and strength. We have a special guest we will be interviewing. She'll be joining us. Lynette McGuire, our manager from Nova Scotia, Canada, will be with us. So don't miss that one. Until then, we wish you all the best as you work to build your forever business, and say bye for now.